Peace, peace. Welcome, welcome. I'm just going to give it a few moments to see who comes on our YouTube live here. I'm getting a little settled in. Peace. Welcome, Sarah. Welcome. So, welcome. It's a nice, cozy November evening. Welcome. Welcome, Recovering Soul. Welcome. Okay. So, welcome, Deborah. Welcome. So I have my accoutrement here with me, and we are going to get into a little discussion, a very short discussion and semi-formal discussion on essential oils. Oh, and you know what? I'm just thinking there's something that I'm missing, and I will be right back. So let's see. Okay. All right. There, I am back. Just remembered I had a little packet of essential oils that I wanted to share. Welcome. Welcome. Okay. So we have a few people watching us now. Let me go ahead. I apologize. Something about me, I do not like sitting in chairs. I'm that person who likes to go to a party. When I do go to a party, I like to sit on the floor. I like to be close to the earth. And my little area over here, I used to be on a cushion down on the floor, but I find, even though I'm very skinny, I got a skinny butt, I find cushions very uncomfortable, and I couldn't be at the right length sitting right on the floor, which is where I'd rather be. So I have an office chair that's very comfortable, and it's down, but I sit cross-legged in it. So I just gotta get a little comfortable. So let's go ahead and bring the chime in, and take a nice deep centering breath. Just take a moment to bring ourselves into this intentional sacred space with our attention. So welcome, welcome. Okay. All right, let's put that there. Okay, so this evening I wanted to discuss with you essential oils, and this discussion is prompted not only, I think it was Denise James, or maybe it was Deborah, I'm not sure. Someone sent me a message with a request for a topic, and at least one of the topics was essential oils, and I can't remember what the other topic was. So if you're the one who sent the message, please remind me, or I'll have to go in and look at my messages again. But it was prompted today because I had a client that came today, and she came for a craniosacral therapy session, and it was wonderful. It was a wonderful session. She really enjoyed it. And somehow we got on the topic of essential oils. And she mentioned that she had an appointment with an essential oil representative, someone from one of the big multi-level marketing companies. And I'm not going to mention their name. And I let her know that I was myself a distributor of one of those companies as well. Not so much for the purpose of selling to other people, which I am available. You know, if you want to order some, let me know. But because there were some blends that they had that I really appreciated and wanted to have access to at a reasonable price. And I just let her know that there really, really, truly is no reason to purchase these very, very, very expensive oils when there are reputable companies out there who do sell quality oils. And I am going to show you one of the companies, which is Now. This is a very easily, readily available, affordable, over-the-counter oil that is steam distilled. It's not, you know, used with solvents. Some essential oils, like if you open a lid of essential oils, they are very strong. But when you smell it, it should be the smell of whatever, you know, like this is lavender. This doesn't have like one of the little dropper tops. So I have to be very careful with this because if this drops, this is gonna fall out. And I think this is a 4-ounce bottle of lavender essential oils. And one thing I learned 10 years ago when I was in reflexology school, I used to use another brand of essential oils. And every time I'd open the oil, it would kind of make my jaw clench really tight. And I just assumed that it was because the oils were very potent and that they were volatile, they were potent. So that's why I would have that cringing sensation because they were really strong. I just assumed it was similar to my oil paints, that I love to do oil paints, but the smell of the oil paint, whatever is in it, would always kind of give me that, you know, it's kind of like a sensitivity reaction to the oil paint. And my reflexology teacher brought in these amazing oils, which I don't mind mentioning this company because they're a smaller company, a mom and pop owned company. It's called Wisdom of the Earth. I forget where they're located. They might be in New Mexico. They're somewhere out west. But if you type in the search engine Wisdom of the Earth, you will be able to see their website. They had a newsletter they put out. And she brought in those oils, and I smelled them, and it was just like, oh, I didn't have the clenching feeling. It was just the, you know, the relaxing fragrance of whatever the oil was. And so she explained to me that some of the companies, they use solvents and all of these chemicals in order to extract the essential oils out of the plant or the tree or whatever they're extracting it from, and that was very unhealthy because, you know, those are really harsh chemicals. And so from there, I learned that one of the best ways, one of them, not always, but one of the best ways is to smell the oil. And you can sometimes tell if they're using chemicals to extract it. But Now brand, you have to make sure that it says, you know, steam distilled on the back. Where did I put my glasses? Oh, here they are. Let me get out my glasses and just read the back of this. So this lavender oil, it's 100% pure lavender oil. The aroma is floral. And see right in the back, it lets you know all of the information about the oil. The benefits are soothing, normalizing, balancing, and then it gives you like a remedy for headache. And then it says extraction method, steam distilled from fresh flowering tips. Okay, so anyway, I recommend Now brand because this size, which is a 1-ounce fluid size, which will last a good amount of time, it's only about $9.99. Deborah wants me to explain cold press process. From my understanding, now I'm not an expert and I don't do any of this myself, but cold press process is exactly how it sounds. They take the bulk of whatever it is, the flowers or whatever, and it's being pressed, just like olives, cold press. That means they're not using heat to heat up the item and using heat to extract. They're not using chemicals to extract. The item is exactly how it sounds. It's a cold item, hasn't been warmed up, heated up or anything, and it's just pressed until the oil presses out of it. That's cold press. Now, expeller press, I'm not so sure about expeller press. I think there might be a solvent used to express the oil from, say, the olive or whatever. So whenever you're buying oils, not just essential oils, but um, extra virgin olive oil or sunflower, safflower oil, oils that you're going to consume, is always good to get cold pressed, not expeller pressed. And I think the expeller press that might also use heat. So cold press is always good. So anyway, so with Now brand, as opposed to some of the multi-level marketing brands that, there's two major brands that you're probably aware of. This is excuse me. This is, oh, that doesn't even have the size on it. I think this one is a 15 milliliter bottle, which is half the size of this. This is 30 milliliter, which is 1 ounce. This is a ½ ounce. Now, this is a local brand, and the only reason why I purchased it, because, support local. If I expect people to come to my business, I feel like I have to put the good karma out there and spend my money locally as well. And this is a Hope Hill Lavender Farm, somewhere around here in Berks County. And I think this bottle was $15. And hold on one second. This in one of those major multi-level marketing companies where you have to be a distributor like myself, where you have to purchase from a distributor or have a distributor's number. A bottle of this size, 15 milliliters of lavender essential oil, would be about between $25 to $35. Now, I have to admit, their oils do smell really good. However, there really is no reason to spend $25 to $35 for 15 milliliters of essential oils when you can get. Now, this bottle, this lavender, I actually spent, I think, $30 or $35 for. But this is 4 ounces worth. And I use lavender a lot in my diffuser in my office. When clients come, I was just thinking, wow, why aren't I diffusing at home as much as I diffuse in my office? That's why I paused for a second. But you could buy this size, 4 ounces, for $35 on Amazon or at your local store. Or you can get a 1 ounce of lavender for about $11.99. This is peppermint oil. So I bring lavender and peppermint oil to you today because these are 2 oils. If you were to only purchase 2 oils and none other 2 oils to have on hand in your medicinal cabinet, outside of tea tree oil, which everyone should also have tea tree oil, lavender and peppermint oil. These oils are very relaxing, rejuvenating, and refreshing. And they can help you sleep. They can help you to wake up. Now, there's some people who have told me that they do not use peppermint oil at nighttime because it keeps them awake. For me, that's not the case. But these 2 oils together, I want to encourage you on something. Hold on one second. Let me take this off. Okay. This is a very old-fashioned thing. This is a roaster. I got this at the secondhand store about a year or two ago for $9.99. Okay, this is your ordinary enamel roaster, and this will probably fit feet up to size 10 for women. You probably need something bigger if you're a man, but you take that, you fill it up about that much with hot water from the sink water, that when you start running it, you're able to put your hands in it and it's not scalding. And you put it probably about 2 inches worth of water. And then if you bring to boil a tea kettle or a pot of water to boil on the stove, get your pot, set it in front of the sofa when you're about to watch television or watch YouTube channel. And then after you put in your water, let me get this, what is this, 8-pound bag of Epsom salt, which you can purchase either on Amazon or Walmart or the grocery store, wherever you choose to shop. And you take about a half a cup of this and put it into the water. Now, if you have high blood pressure, you want to confer with your doctor first, okay? This is magnesium sulfate, and you can put this in the water, and then 3 drops of peppermint oil, 3 drops of lavender oil with it. And I cannot, it's like having a spa. And I'll tell you how I came up with that. So when I was in reflexology school, the teacher and classmates, they were constantly talking about putting lavender and peppermint oil on the feet at the same time. And I was like, why would you do that? Peppermint oil keeps you awake and lavender oil relaxes you. Why would you want to have 2 contradictory things going on at one time? I didn't realize at that time 10 years ago, there's a synergy in the blend. There, you know, the two of them, these 2 opposing oils coming together, they bring balance. It just came to me. They bring balance. That's what they do together. So I highly recommend peppermint oil and lavender oil together. You know, coming home, you're feeling stressed out. And what happened was, this is about 10 years ago. And one day I just felt, you know, I had teenagers and almost an adolescent. I had a teenager, 2 teenagers that I was dealing with, and I just felt overwhelmed. So overwhelmed that I was literally shaking and in tears, and like I wanted someone to just hold me. I wanted to be in fetal position. And the little voice in my head said, go soak your feet. And I was at my wit's end, and I just went. I filled up. I had a big stainless steel bowl, and you know, I put the water in. I boiled the water, and I sat down on the sofa with the towel, put the pot on the floor next to me, and put in my Epsom salt, put my 3 drops each, and then and once I put my feet into the water, it was just like I literally felt this relaxing, tingling sensation that started at the soles of my feet, and this tingling, like just grounding energy coming up from the earth through the pot, through the water, just go up my legs, up my body. I just felt it just like that. Just go up and up and up. And then I was just like, so you're dealing with anxiety, dealing with stress. I encourage you, just like I encourage my clients, soak your feet as often as possible. It's a very, once you get the, you know, you'll invest. You don't need to get a 4-ounce thing of essential oils. That's just what I have because I use so much. of the lavender, it made more sense for me to buy this $35 bottle than the $11.99 size, which is 1 ounce. Get a one ounce of peppermint, 1 ounce of lavender, put them together in there with the Epsom salt. The magnesium helps with muscle tension, muscle stress, muscle spasms, as well as anxiety and depression. And speaking of which, you want to have your nice mug with some hot water and calm. This is powdered magnesium. It's a very easily, readily available bioavailability to the body. And I believe it is magnesium citrate and magnesium gluconate. You know, it's a mineral, and not all minerals are easily absorbed into the body. But let's see, yes, this is ionic magnesium citrate. And this one is ionic magnesium citrate, which is created from a highly absorbable proprietary blend of citric acid and magnesium carbonate. And this, let me tell you about this, okay? Unless you're my teenagers, which I only have one teenager now, the other two are older, and I have an 8-year-old. Pretty much the way you see me is what you get. However, I have been known to lose it. There's some things that will cause me to lose it, like teenagers that don't listen. And there was a time in my life where driving on the highway and next to a big rig would cause me anxiety and to have a really bad, I wouldn't say an anxiety attack, although I did have a panic attack when I was driving on the Schuylkill Expressway. So anyone who's from Philadelphia, we all know the Schuylkill Expressway. And I don't know if this is, very common, but this expressway, you're literally merging from the left to get onto the expressway, and all the traffic is on your right. That's, that's very anxiety driven. That's really high in anxiety. So anyway, I was really getting to the point, and I think that happened. I had a panic attack on Schuylkill Expressway. I was 30 years old at the time, driving to Philadelphia to go to a synagogue down there. And I was driving a van, and luckily I didn't have my 3 children with me, because as soon as I realized that I was merging onto the Schuylkill from the left, I started to have a panic attack. My left, where's the accelerator? Right foot, both my legs started bouncing up and down like this, and I could not keep my foot on the accelerator. It was absolutely horrible. By the time I made it to the synagogue, I sat out in the parking lot and cried for about 15 minutes. But I started taking magnesium because of digestion issues, inflammation of the bowel. And magnesium is a mineral that helps with peristalsis movement. That means the smooth muscle movement, such as your esophagus, when you swallow, uses smooth muscle movement, peristalsis. Your heart uses, it smooth muscle movement. So magnesium is good for your heart. Make sure that you speak to your doctor and let your doctor know what you're taking, because there's certain minerals or supplements that could counteract with certain medications. Okay, so always speak with your doctor if you have extenuating health situations, such as no magnesium, no Epsom salt when you have high blood pressure. Speak with your doctor about that. So anyway, so I started taking this magnesium because of inflammation of the bowels, and it was helping. And I noticed 2 things. One day I was driving down the windy road near, I live in semi-rural Pennsylvania, and there is a very windy road right off the highway. And sometimes the Mennonites in their horse and buggies are on this road, so you can be zooming. Some people like to zoom in this road. You can get around the corner and find yourself behind a horse and buggy. and it's just a 2-lane road. And sometimes big rigs on the other side of the road to get to the major highway will be coming down. One day I was driving on this road to get home, and a big rig was coming towards me. And I just happened to notice that this big rig, the wheel, its left wheel was in my side of the road. And I saw it and I was like, oh, that truck's wheel. That truck is in my lane. Let me scoot over. So I kind of moved over and I got past it. And when I did, I was just like, oh, wow. Normally, what would have happened? I would have seen that big rig. I wouldn't even have thought. I would have moved over, and immediately I could literally feel the stress hormones being released into my body, and they would be so debilitating that once they kind of flooded my system, I would just feel sick and tired and run down and just want to crawl under the covers, you know? But as I was driving, and I'm like, wow, I didn't freak out. You know, and I didn't think about the calm, but even though I was taking the magnesium, I was constantly researching and reading because I'm not one of these people that will just take something, you know, just because everyone says to take it. Even though I was taking it, I was still doing my research on it. And then one day I realized that it said it was indicated for anxiety, stress, depression, insomnia, and all of that. And another thing I noticed, that if I was to get into, this was, you know, 10 years ago, if I was to get into an argument, you know, it's always a person who's closest to us, whether it's a spouse or an ex or whatever, you know, we all know how to push each other's buttons, you know, and you can get into a heated discussion with someone or an argument with someone where you're very committed to whatever it is you're in defense of or whatever. We're not getting into the discussion of the right or wrong of that. But there were times where I would get into these heated discussions and heated argument and would feel so stressed, like I felt like I was going to have a stroke or something. But I noticed after taking the calm, I could get into these heated discussions and arguments, but yet still maintain my balance. So just sharing with you that this stuff works. So if you find yourself high anxiety, uh, got a temper, get stressed out very easily, magnesium can be indicated, and magnesium can be a great help along with taking a good B complex. So I encourage you to get out your roaster or go to the secondhand store and get yourself a roaster that you just want to put your feet in. I don't cook in this. I only use it for my feet since I don't cook meat anyway. There's no reason for me to use this. Can you imagine filling this up with potatoes? Get this out, get your magnesium out. And like I said, quarter cup, half a cup of magnesium, Epsom salt. I think I paid like $9.99 for this, 8 pounds. And put in there your 3 drops of lavender and your 3 drops of peppermint oil, and then have yourself a cup of magnesium, and you will have a spa, and you will love me forever, and you will thank me. And you want to make sure, now, you know, just because something is a supplement or it's a vitamin or it's something that your body needs, it doesn't mean that you overdo it, okay? Because you take too much magnesium, you know what happens? You get the runs. You get the run. You might think you have to fart and something else comes out, so don't do that. Let's see. And also, if you have sensitive kidneys, you want to be careful with the magnesium, and again, speak to your healthcare provider. Okay. And let's see what else. Okay. So I want to recommend a couple of books for you, and also some essential oils for dealing with anxiety. So one of my favorite authors on essential oils is Valerie Ann Warwood. I think she is from the UK, Warwood. Valerie Ann Warwood. Now this woman, this book, sorry, not this woman, but this book, this is an old version. I've had this book, oh, I don't even know how long I've had it. Probably 10 years. I bought it from a Libris. So there is an updated version of this book. Okay, this is an old version, so do not go and look for this cover because you'll get the old version. She has the complete book of essential oils and aromatherapy, the fragrant pharmacy. This book might be out of print, I'm not sure. This is the fragrant pharmacy, and this is the fragrant mind. So yeah, this one is aromatherapy for personality, mind, mood, and emotion. And this one is a complete guide to aromatherapy and essential oils. That might be a precursor to this one. But anyway, this book would be all that you needed. She also does have a book, what is it called? The Fragrant Heavens. And it's all about spiritual aromatherapy. So I think Fragrant Heavens might be the out of print name of the book. But yeah, just look up Valerie Warwood and get all of her essential oil books. You will not go wrong. She is very knowledgeable. So let me share with you some oils that are beneficial for anxiety. She has, here's a whole chapter, a whole page here too, on anxiety essential oils. And I like how she has it broken down. She has the A to Z of emotional problems. So like for instance, she has emotional blends for anger, for trauma, shock, emotional shock, fear-induced amnesia 2 blend. So for anxiety, she has, let's see, essential oils to help relieve general anxiety. And there are several oils, and I will read them down if you're not ready to buy the book, but at least you have this information. Bergamot, which I do have that oil, and it's wonderful. Mandarin, okay. Vetiver, neroli, melissa, juniper, my all-time favorite. Love me or hate me, I don't care. Patchouli. How many people in the house do we have that enjoy patchouli? Please say me or not me in the chat room. I'm just curious. And Roman chamomile, lavender, of course, sandalwood, cedarwood, rose otto, geranium, frankincense, and clary sage. Okay, so those are essential oils to help relieve general anxiety. Again, that's bergamot, mandarin, vetiver, neroli, melissa, juniper, patchouli, chamomile, Roman chamomile, lavender, sandalwood, cedarwood, rose otto, geranium, frankincense, and clary sage. And then she has it broken down to the different types of anxiety. Tense anxiety type 1, the symptoms are bodily tension, muscle pain, aches, and sore body. So that's pretty much, those of us who may have anxiety and it goes right into the body. Okay, so the essential oils that are good for tense anxiety that causes bodily tension and muscle pains is sandalwood, lavender, clary sage, Roman chamomile, and patchouli. And then there's that restless anxiety, that's type 2 anxiety. And those symptoms are overactivity, sweating, palpitations, dizziness, lump in the throat, frequent urination or diarrhea, which is overactivity of the autonomic nervous system, or upset stomach. And the essential oils good for that are vetiver, cedarwood, juniper. Those are two of my favorite oils. Chamomile, Roman chamomile, frankincense. Okay. Chris Monet mentions putting vetiver and cedarwood is excellent on the bottom of feet at night, and it will knock you out. Now, there are some essential oils, so you might want to look this up because I don't remember all of them. I just know that lavender you can put on your skin neat. Neat means straight from the bottle. Now, of course, the skin on the bottoms of your feet are a little thicker. So there are oils that you might be able to get away with by putting on the soles of your feet, especially if they're rough like mine, because I go barefoot a lot. You can do that. Otherwise, you might need to put it in a carrier oil like coconut oil or olive oil. I do not recommend canola oil. Okay, so for restlessness anxiety type 2, yeah, we did that one. Okay, the next anxiety, which is type 3 anxiety, is apprehensive anxiety. And the symptoms are unease, apprehension, worrying, brooding, over anxious, paranoia, sense of foreboding. I get that when it's tax season. The essential oils good for that are bergamot, lavender, neroli, rose otto, melissa, and geranium. And you know, that would be good for having geranium plants in your home to smell them. You know, it's that same fragrance. And then there's repressed anxiety, type 4. The symptoms are feeling on edge, irritability, difficulty in concentrating, insomnia, feeling anxiety, I'm feeling exhausted all the time, and that's repressed anxiety. And the essential oils good for that is bergamot, melissa, neroli, rose otto, sandalwood, vetiver, cedarwood. And let's see, she gives a couple of blends, like for instance, with the tense anxiety type 1, the synergistic blend for that is 10 drops of clary sage. And by drops, for those of you who might be unfamiliar with essential oils, they come with this, I forget what you call this little stopper. And let's see, this is peppermint. I don't want to use that one because you know, you want to be careful with these oils, because if you go to the restroom and you forgot that you had essential oils in your hand, you could burn yourself. This is lavender, so this is okay. So 1 drop would actually be, let's see, that's 1 drop, and you see how that came out. And this oil, I don't mind. This you can put on your skin neat for most people. So that would be 1 drop. So if you were doing an essential oil blend, you would have like a little glass, little bowl or whatever, or ceramic, have your carrier oil that you're using. And let's see, Chris Monet says, vetiver has been known to lift and increase breasts if used regularly. Thank you. Wait a minute, Chris. What are you trying to say something? Hey, I'm fine with my itty bitties. Anyway, so you would, for the tense anxiety type 1 synergistic blend, is 10 drops of clary sage, and you saw me do the drop. So that means you don't get a dropper and put 10 big drops in. You use the dropper that's on here. 10 drops of clary sage, 15 drops of lavender, and 5 drops of chamomile. That's for the anxiety. And let's see, for the restless anxiety blend type 2, 5 drops of vetiver, 10 drops of juniper, and 15 drops of cedarwood. That apprehensive anxiety type 3 synergistic blend is 15 drops bergamot, 5 drops lavender, and 10 drops geranium. And for repressed anxiety, type 4, the synergistic blend is 10 drops neroli, 10 drops rose otto, 10 drops, and 10 drops bergamot. And I'm going to tell you, rose oil is expensive. So that is from the Fragrant Mind. Okay. I thought I would miss mine after 4 kids, but that didn't happen. Let's see. So in the complete book of essential oils, she gives you a plethora of, see all of this? Those are all different recipes for specific uses. This one, this is the Workaholic Heart. For Workaholic, she has a blend. Wow. For myalgic encephalomyelitis, for me sufferers. Uh, let's see. Repetitive strain syndrome. Oh, for what is that? Tenosynovitis. Inflammation of the fibrous sheaths, which enclose the tendons of the ankles and wrist. That's tenosynovitis. I guess that's another way of saying tendonitis. There's drops for that. To balance your two hemispheres of your brain. She gives you blends for that, for sleeping, for teething. So I definitely recommend this book, Fragrant. This is the complete book of essential oils. It no longer has this book cover because this is, I think this one is almost 10 years old, if not 10 years old. There's a new edition, and the person's name is Valerie Warwood. Here it is, Valerie Warwood. Okay, and what else did I wanted to show you? So if you, now I mentioned before that I was the distributor of a particular company, and that company is Young Living. And I don't really actively, I mean, if someone wanted to order from me, I would sell them. But I do have their kit, and they do have some oil blends that are proprietary that I really do like. And like RC is an oil that I use. Let's see. This one's is Digees for vitality and purification. The oils smell, they're amazing. So unless you want their proprietary blends, if you're getting single oils, you might as well get the most bang for your buck. And these are perfectly good quality. I mean, of course, you'll have different representatives tell you, no, 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 those, these are only the best, or these are only the best. I say hogwash. They're just as good. You got Valor 2. Let's see. What are some Aroma Siege? These are some of their proprietary blends, and they're Panaway. I use these in my massage reflexology practice. But once you get good at oils, and well as using Valerie Warwood's book, you can make your own pain blends. As I mentioned, the Fragrant Pharmacy, pelvic pain, hot flush formulas, constipation, coughs. Oh, one really cool thing to do, like if your child is sick, or if you're sick, you can take eucalyptus oil and rub on the ball of your foot. Rub that on the ball of your foot, and it goes right to your lung reflex. And let me think, is there anything else in the essential oils? Oh, let's see. Someone asked me to look up spikenard. Let me see if I can find that in here. And if you do have a quick oil you would like for me to look up, let me know, and I'll take a gander. Let's see, spikenard. isn't it a biblical oil, spikenard? Oh, and Young Living has a biblical oil set. I think it's like 5 or 8 different oils that were from the Bible, like frankincense and myrrh. I think spikenard might be one of them. Let me see if they have that in here. Let me look up spikenard, spikenard. Let's see, I don't see it there. I don't see it. I might be looking in the wrong place. I'm not sure. Wintergreen and camphor for bones and joints. She's absolutely right. I have both of those over in my office. I use those often. If you're dealing with some inflammation as well, cypress is really good for the lymph system and edema. Let's see, spikenard. I don't know. I'm sure it's in here. Let's see. I'm sure it's in here. I'm just not sure where to look it up. Oh, I know what else I wanted to mention to you. If you're looking for, you have to be very careful. If you're not, now this is the only over-the-counter, going to the store oil that I would recommend that you buy. And you could also find it on Amazon. I would be very wary of purchasing from people off, there's not a well-known brand like now. I don't recommend, I'm not into Aracacia or Star West. I mean, I'm sure they're perfectly good oils. I personally don't like them myself. I do like the Now brand. And there is one woman, I can't remember her name, but I found her about 10 years ago on the internet, and her website is www.essentials, I think it's Essential7 or Essentials7.com. So you look her up. She gets very high quality essential oils. She sells 5 milliliter, 15 milliliter. She sells 8 ounce. I've purchased Bulgarian lavender and French lavender from her. And let's see what else, lemongrass and lemon balm. Did I get lemon balm? Lemon verbena is what I'm thinking of. What are we, what? Okay. All right. I'm not able to readily come across spikenard in here. So, but I would say do a Google search. I'm sure it's in here, but I'm just not sure how to locate it in a fairly timely. Let's see. Yes. Yes, you can. I will get in touch with you when I finish, Cindy. Cindy was interested in purchasing some of the Young Living oils. Let's see. Okay. Again, Recovering Soul is asking me, at oils sold at Renaissance fairs, art and wine festivals, are they okay? Okay, one thing you have to understand that oil blends are not the same as essential oils. Oil blends means that they might have used some essential oils, or they might have used some artificial fragrances, or like lavender fragrance. Like, for instance, you'll have people say, oh, I'm allergic to lavender. I can't use lavender lotion or lavender this or that. And I say, well, number one, in that oil or lotion, it's probably not true essential oil lavender. It's probably a chemical concoction made up fragrance to synthesize lavender. So I can't recommend I mean, you'd have to use your judgment. You're probably not buying a true essential oil unless it says essential oil. And even if it says essential oil, you know, it might have been solvents used to express that oil. You want to make sure the oils that you get, they're like cold pressed, they're steam distilled. There are some things that might need to be expeller pressed. I don't know. But Now brand, these are oils I recommend. If they're not selling Now brand, I cannot recommend them to you. There's only one woman online because I've used her oils myself and I know that she gets high quality oils. And let me just make sure I give you the right website. Actually, I will see if I can bring up her website and show it to you, give you a quick tour. And no, I don't get any essential, let's see, essential 7. I don't get any kickback for mentioning her. Okay, so essential 7. I'm going to show you the website. Okay, so this, my dear, is the website, and it is a wonderful website. And of course, you save depending upon how much oils you buy, you know, your quantity. Okay, so she has a newsletter. Like when I first came on the page, of course, there was like you get a specific discount if you sign up for the newsletter. So Essential 7 without the S. And then you can come and you can shop by categories. So she has like aromatherapy collection. So let's see what that page looks like. So Academy of Natural Health and Sciences Certified Aromatherapist. So let's see. So this must be a collection for people who are taking that course, and they probably have to have this entire kit for that particular course. So she has kits available. And of course, you don't need to buy this kit unless you want to, or unless you are a student of this class. Let's see, what other aromatherapy collections does she have? And see right here, she says fragrance collection. So just remember, fragrance oils are not the same as essential oils. So you got some holiday stress, she's got a kit for you. All right. And she's got all these different little fancy kits, which 10 years ago she didn't have that. But you know, we move up in the world. And let's see, right here is where you get to the essential oils. And she has it broken down, essential oils A to D. So let's go there and you can see. So she has allspice, amber, amyris, angelica root. And let me just let you know, just because something is natural does not mean it's safe. You know, hemlock is natural. Does not mean it's safe. So you have to, you know, treat essential oils with respect. Okay? If you're going to use essential oils on your pets, be very, very careful. You know, you want to, you know, speak to someone who has experience with that. I know someone who wanted to use tea tree oil on their pet, and they just lathered the animal with the dog with the tea tree oil. Needless to say, the dog almost died, got very ill from that. So you must be careful. Got basil, aniseed, benzoin, cajeput, birch. Oh, I love birch. Camphor, another one of my favorite. Carrot seed oil is really good for your skin. Another thing, if you're making like skin butters, like shea butter, I learned this the hard way. I made a batch of skin butter, shea butter, and I put essential oils in it. Didn't realize that wasn't the right thing to do. Could not understand why every time I went outside, for 5 minutes, my skin literally felt like it was frying, and I would get 2 shades darker, like within 15 minutes. Well, it took me about a week to realize that my skin actually was frying, because I think I might have had some lemon essential oil in there and something else. Essential oils can make your skin photosensitive, so you have to be very careful. And so, sorry, I don't mean to come out sounding like I'm preaching. I'm a mother of 4, I can't help it. So anyway, so this is her website. Check this out. And sometimes you can find, you know, some essential oils that you may not even known existed, like elmi. And these are similar essential oils that you can find at any of these multi-level marketing places for much higher prices. Oh, pink grapefruit. It's one of my favorite oils. You even got ginger oil, which would be great to rub on the reflexes of your feet. Yes, break the chains. However, I'm not very religious. So, uh, let's see. Uh, yes, Chris Monet says if essential oils are overused, you can develop a reaction. Best, and she says, best to consider them medicinal. Yes, they are medicinal. That's why I say, you know, they're natural, but you treat Mother Nature with respect because she can bring health to you or the opposite. So anyway, check out Essential Sevens. And yeah, oh, she's got a winter clearance here. Oh, guess not, because it's winter. She'll probably have that in the spring. So, oh, she's got extracts and powders. Very cool. Citric acid, green tea extract, goat milk powder, mica. Very cool. Okay, silk protein powder. All right. Are there any other pertinent questions in the chat room? Oh, carrier oils. Carrier oils. Good carrier oils would be grapeseed oil. That one is a good carrier oil because it doesn't have like a very, very strong smell to it. And that would be good. Of course, olive oil is a good carrier oil. However, you know, extra virgin olive oil can have its own strong little smell to it, so it might overpower the oil. So if you're making a cologne, I mean, not a cologne, a roll-on perfume, use your carrier oil, grapeseed oil, and add your essential oils to it. Let's see. Coconut oil is another good carrier oil. Olive oil, shea butter is good. Grape seed oil, I know I already said that. Avocado oil is luxurious, is great for the facial skin. Apricot kernel oil, almond oil. And you also have to realize some of these oils have a short shelf life. They can go rancid quickly. So like olive oil, you know, you want to keep it in the refrigerator. And when you use it to make your oil blends, you know, you don't want to think you can use it a year later, probably within 6 months. Okay, so let's see. I think that's it. Did I cover enough for you? Are there any other questions you might have? And let me just check the chat room. Oh, and Cindy, like I said, I don't know if you heard me. You only need the one book, which is the complete book of essential oils and aromatherapy. The latest edition is a little thicker than this, and the cover is completely different. So don't look for this cover, look for the title, and especially this woman's name. Her books are the best. I mean, you know, over in the UK, they take the aromatherapy very seriously, and she's the best. Valerie Ann Warwood. Warwood. So let me see. All right. Hemp seed oil. Yes, hemp oil is also very good. However, it does have that nice nutty smell to it. But it is very good and moisturizing for the skin. Coconut oil is an oil that's very close to your sebaceous gland. So coconut oil is probably not the best for very dry skin, as it might keep your skin from creating its own oils. But other than that, it's really good. And let me think. Oh, if you are interested in some of the Young Living oil blends, let me know. And I can give you my number for ordering that. And okay. Any other questions? And we can bring this video chat to an end. And like I said, don't forget your magnesium and your a good B complex. Helps your RNA, DNA, all of that ABC to deal with stress. Magnesium and a good B complex with all of the Bs. I know some people like to say, oh, I get B vitamins in my multivitamin. No, a standalone B complex. Okay, all right. So I'd like to thank all of you. Thank you, Chris. Thank all of you for joining me as we discuss essential oils. And oh, one more thing that I want to share with you. It's best to use a cold, C-O-L-D, a cold diffuser when you use your essential oils. If you really want to truly have all the medicinal properties, not just the smell of it, brought into the air, because using heat to diffuse it, is not always a good thing. It could destroy some of the beneficial properties. However, if you are ill and you know you want to get a pot of hot water and put your eucalyptus oil, just maybe 1 or 2 drops in the oil, put the towel over your head, make sure to keep your eyes closed because otherwise you're gonna burn your eyeballs. Okay. All right, so let's take a nice deep centering breath. I wish you peace and great bliss. Until next time. Thank you.